Who am I? The girls them sugar.
Bang, bang.
What's up? What's up? Welcome to the Who Am I podcast.
About to pull a Joe Biden. Hit the 1 second.
Oh, I tell you what, boy, you get your you get your fucking ugly ass, dog. Oh, bro.
What if you'd have put on a what if you'd have put on Renegade and start hitting out? What if we start hitting that? Hold on.
No, bro. We ain't start like that. We gonna have to cut the whole episode.
He just started hitting that thing, dog.
Oh, bro. There's nothing funnier. There's gonna be nothing funnier this episode than Joe Biden hitting the Renegade, dog. There's nothing funnier than that, boy. Oh man, that was a good one. Bruh. I hate him, dog. I really do. I really don't. I really don't.
Man.
I don't care for him much, man.
What a
you know what? He really gonna get ate up on it at the end of October, ain't he?
October. That's in 2 weeks. You talking about them debates?
Oh, the debates at the end of this month.
Yeah, September 29th.
Yeah. He really gonna get ate up
It's
out
about
there,
to
man.
be so lit.
I can't wait to watch that. He gonna get ate up. But you know who else gonna get ate up?
Mike Pence. Yeah. Kamala coming for that neck.
Mike Pence he gonna have trouble in there. he gonna be in that bit on the roads.
They had us in the first half.
He gonna be on the roads, boy. I can't wait, man. Nah, man. Welcome to the Who My Podcast. This is episode 55, I think. Yeah, 55, man.
Double nickel.
We getting up there. So yeah, today we got some different topics. We're gonna talk about some new music as usual. So let's go ahead and get started on that. I will go first. Mine was kind of weird this week, man. I went and I decided I was gonna listen to some stuff I usually don't listen to, like some people or some artists that I really don't, tend to listen to. Cool. And I realized why I don't listen to them. That's what happened. So I realized why I don't want to listen to them. So. But I'm going to speak on it because, again, I did that so I can actually, had the range, you know what I'm saying? The range. You got to have the range. So the first one is I Got You with Trippie Redd and Busta Rhymes. This was a good way to fuck up a good song. So if you want to know the cheat code to doing that, go ahead and do this. And I was really hyped. I already knew what kind of sample was going to be. I heard that. I seen I Got You. I seen it was Busta Rhymes on there. I've been loving the formula of kind of like the Chixtape formula. It's hard to talk about that right now, but kind of like that formula of taking one of those songs, sampling it, and then putting that artist that was actually on that made that song actually on that kind of remix, if you would. And I really like that. I mean, that's the move. You can't really miss. But Trippie Redd somehow found out a way to miss on this. And so I don't know if it's because I'm just not a big Trippie Redd fan. I don't know what it is, but I didn't enjoy listening to that song. That's my take. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't enjoyable for me. It's actually kind of inconvenient.
You want your time back? I reclaim my time.
Actually kind of inconvenient. I actually read it back twice because I was just like, maybe I'm on shit, but no. Have you heard it?
No, that's
okay.
I can kind of. I liked one Trippie Redd song, and it's the one he had with Travis Scott. But
yeah,
that was it.
It's a no for me.
Well, speaking of some songs that I did like, so Rhapsody put out a track called 12 Problems. And Rhapsody, bro, she is like
the best female artist right now.
Was that
the best female artist right now?
Oh, by far. It's not even.
That's not even a hot take anymore.
Yeah, it's just she's kind of like a Kendrick, kind of like a Cole. Whereas though you forget about her when she's not active, but once she comes back with something, it's like, damn, I forgot how nice she was. Or damn, I forgot like how great of an artist she is. Like I really did appreciate this song, talking about the current times, police brutality, police injustice, and just breaking it down in just a real way. Like I can't. with so many of these type of songs, after a while, it gets like, all right, bro, I heard enough. Like, I don't need to hear everybody's take on this. But Rhapsody is a person. I want to hear what she thinks about. You know, like Kendrick, I want to hear what Kendrick thinks about. J. Cole, I want to hear what they think about it, because they have a very nuanced, they have a very a good way of articulating themselves. And I think Rhapsody just knocked it out the park with 12 Problem. So I can't praise Rhapsody enough, bro. Like, she just dropped the album last year. Like, I'm waiting for another one. Like, she is dope.
Patiently. It's a different take on what you would typically hear from one of these songs, kind of the social justice songs, if you would. Because it's kind of like, it was kind of like the Meek Mill one, right? Or the Baby one. There was just a really good beat. It was a really good song, and it was talking about some shit, dog. Like that's I think that's how you do it. Make a good song and put in those aspects inside of it. Don't shoot to make a social justice song, because then you end up with the Keanu Lee Day John, and we don't want one of those. we don't want those. we
don't need that right now.
we don't need those. Yeah, we don't need those. That was my second one, so that was my only other single, and then I got 2 albums, of course. But so if you got some more singles,
it's kind of I think it's a 2-pack, so I look at it as kind of like a single. But Saba, he dropped a 2-pack, one song called Mrs. Whoever, one song called Something in the Water featuring Denzel Curry. Saba, I like his type of rap, and I don't know if this is just a new Apple update, but if you look at Apple Music and you look under this 2-pack, it's labeled as alternative rap. And I like that. I like that, like how we're talking about rap is different from hip hop, is different from, this alternative rap. I think Saba in this lane is like one of my favorite alternative rappers. Kind of like a Mick Jenkins, or even like a Rhapsody can get into that bag if you want to just like, or like a Common, that just like alternative rap. I think it's dope. Saba is really, really talented. His last project, I think it's called Care For Me, was kind of dark, and he was dealing with some, I think his friend died, and he was kind of dealing with that grief, talking through it, talking about like how they went to school together and like all the circumstances that led up to it. Still a good project, but you can kind of see how dark it was. But I think with these 2 songs, it kind of sounds like vintage Saba, like more upbeat, more happy, more like talking about women. So I think it's just a good display of his talent. So Saba, Mrs. Whoever, and Something in the Water, dope singles from Saba.
Well. I'm gonna start with the one that I like, because there's one that I don't over here. So, which is the trend this week apparently. But my first one, and I'm sure you probably was, I don't know if you were gonna talk about this, but I'm sure you'll have something to add on it. But Cole Red, Moneybagg Yo, and Black Youngster. I like, I am about these short albums. I keep telling you, normalize them, bro. 38 minutes. The 38 special, though, dog. The 38 special, though, bro. 13 songs, I'm fucking with it, bro. So there are some older songs on here, right? So there said some. I'm pretty sure Gunsmoke was out before as well. But there's a couple that was already out here. There's a remix that says something on here as well, which I really actually like. But I really like this all together. I like they sounds together, right? I hadn't heard them a lot together because, again, I'm not a huge Moneybagg Yo fan. I just kind of feed off of you be sending me shit every once in a while, or just bringing it up in here. So on his last album, he had the 1, 2, 3, which to me was the best song on that album. Like it just bang, like, you know what I'm saying? Just one of those catchy songs that you gotta fuck with. So hearing them together on an album to me was dope. Like, just they sounds together on a full track. There's been a lot of misses with this, right? There's been a lot of misses with people collabing on the track. There's been some that we thought was going to be huge and didn't turn out right. Like there was the Travis Scott and Quavo that kind of came and went. And a lot of music comes and goes. So I'm not saying anything that's terrible, but this one is a hit for me. This one actually got the job done. It was straight to the point. It didn't have any, like, no one was reaching. I ain't have a lot of Black Youngster wasn't singing or nothing crazy, nothing weird just happening on the track that you wouldn't expect. They both stayed in their lanes. They both fed off each other energy on these, and I like every song. I can't think of one that I don't.
Yeah, Moneybagg Yo can do no wrong in my eyes. Like, he got the formula. Yo Gotti said it a long time ago when he first signed Moneybagg Yo and Black Youngster, that Gotti had the formula, and he gonna give it to everybody under him. And as long as they follow the play, they can't lose. And I think Moneybagg and Black Youngster has been following that play in different regards. So I think it's a dope project. like you said, they got good chemistry, just like how they come on the track. It's a good balance because Moneybagg got a different sound. He kind of more chill with it, and then Black Youngster just come on there like aggressive, all type of crazy. But it's like it's a good chemistry.
Definitely.
So it definitely make for good songs. Like the Said Some remix. When I saw that it was City Girls on there, I was like,
At
but
first,
they started eating though.
They started hitting that hole.
They was eating on that thing. So I was like, all right, let's go. But yeah, dope project. I really enjoy it. I'm gonna be listening to it for a little bit. Good project.
For sure. I'll let you go next. I got going to rant in a little bit.
So a song or album that came out. So I talked about Rhapsody, and when I first got put on, it was her. I think it was 2017 when she had that Grammy nominated Layla's Wisdom, and she had a song called Riding. And it was super chill, super cool. And there was somebody featured on there called GQ. And he kind of had like this Kendrick feel on it. And he was just like smoking that whole song. So I've been kind of following him after that feature. And he actually is signed to the same label with Rhapsody under Knife Wonder. So he just dropped a project called A Midsummer's Nightmare and all produced by Knife Wonder. So the beats are just like classic, like kind of like refined, polished. Like Knife Wonder beats are just so good, kind of like a Rick Ross type of like an elegant sound, like an elevated sound. And then he is kind of like I don't want to say a baby Kendrick because that's kind of like disrespecting him, but he has that type of presence on the track to where he isn't overshadowed by a beat. Because some people have beats and the beat is better than the song, or like I don't really need this person rapping. He has a good mesh with it. So GQ, he signed. If you like Rhapsody, if you like that type of rap, he signed with Jamla, A Midsummer's Nightmare. It's a good project. Again, only 7 songs, 22 minutes, right up our alley. So quick listen.
You know it. But speaking of though, just that sound, like it's been a couple Kendrick alerts out there. It's been a couple Kendrick alerts
leaks.
Out there. Been a couple of them, right? It's good to hear from. It's been if y'all don't know, hit up the YouTubes, bro. Look up look at some Kendrick.
These Kendrick leaks are an indication of what's to come. Kendrick is back, bro.
Mm-hmm. I ain't really want to bring him up on this one because it's really not a release. So I don't really, we don't really talk about leaks too much on here, but just to mention them. But my last album, again, I was going on a limb and I wanted to listen to some stuff that I don't really listen to.
I know exactly who you about to talk about.
And I had to scrolling through some albums that came out this week, and I seen the Roddy Ricch knockoff cover. And so I went ahead and clicked on that, and that's topped by Young Boy. I don't even know what to call this.
NBA Young Boy.
NBA Young Boy. I knew it was going to be a long road for me when the first song was called Drug Addiction. So I knew it was going to be I knew it was going to be a long fight, you know what I mean? It was going to be like Drake in that video. It's been a long fight now. I had to have a warrior spirit to get through it, but I made it. And luckily Wayne came through and saved me for at least 45 seconds to a minute on track 7, which is My Window. I think he's really one of the only features on here. There's not a lot of features. He has Snoop Dogg on here. Not very memorable. It's all jokes aside, man. I just really don't like his flow. I really don't. Like I don't really get how people just consistently like hype this man up. Like it's just it's like I'm trying to compare him to somebody, but I don't know what, because he's all energy. He's almost like a Meek Mill, but he can't rap as good as Meek Mill, right? But the essence of what he does is the same formula, right? Like he's all energy. He's all street shit, shooting you, hurting you, kind of even what Lil Wayne did. But just again, he's just not that good at it, right? Like it's just simple as that. Like the beats were kind of sloppy too. It felt like. I don't know who made this. Like I don't know who made the album, but I'm sorry. All right, I'm going. I really listen to this, bro. Like when I tell you, like I really listen to it, right? Like I really listen to it, and I listened to it in several different ways. I was driving for part of it. I muted 2K, had it on the speaker in the house, had it in the headphones while I was trying to work out. And it was upsetting me and my homegirls, bro. Like it was just like it was it was not the one for me, dog. I just really was upset about it. And I'm not gonna lie, I can't see why people like it, actually. So I'm gonna just be honest. Usually I try to give people, it's not for me. All right. Let's end it there. It's just not for me, all right. But if you want to hear it, all you gotta do is type in Roddy Ricch album cover, and this album cover will probably pop up, and you'll be able to see that. So, and then that's it.
The crazy thing is that song, that album is about to debut #1. I think it's sold because it came out last week, but it sold I want to say 127,000, and it's about
he big dude. He big boy in the game though. I mean, he got his following, and we know who they are. So yeah, that's what it is. Congratulations to him. What happened to we never covered Tekashi and just dropping off the face of the earth on the charts. He had to drop on them. What did he end up debuting as? Do you know?
I think it was like between 30 and 40. I think it was like 39. Yeah, because he tried to do the bumble.
Yeah, he was projected for #1 though. If the bundle would count, right?
Yeah, but he was like, nah, bro, get up out of here.
Yeah, fuck it. That's been quiet though. Like I don't even know. I haven't even seen it. I haven't listened to it. Obviously, I don't know if you have.
I ain't listened to it. I follow it just because I want to see like how successful it is. But really, it's really the YouTube. That's because people want to see it. You know, I think his last video that he dropped had Black China in it, and it was just like, the moment. But it's kind of like people getting tired of it.
Yeah, I didn't even watch that one. I didn't even know. I mean, I remember seeing her with the sprinkles on that ass because
that's the video.
Fucking weird. Yeah, just I'm not. Yeah, that shit look like some goddamn a pound of mashed potatoes in a bag. No, I'm not looking. I'm not watching, bro.
You see when they be spelling out words with like body parts. That's definitely how her body built. Her body built like a pea.
She's out there looking like she ate too many Krabby Patties, dog.
Like Squidward when he got locked in the
he ate too many Krabby Patties. Yo, out there, no, I'm not watching that.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I think he kind of went too far. Like after he disrespected Nip, disrespected Lil Durk, went to Chicago and was like disrespecting his cousin that died or whatever, his brother that died. Like I think it now was he kind of crossed that line where it's not trolling no more. You taking it to a real place. And now like he trying to get interviews with other people and like man, and all he doing is snitching on other people. Like, this person trying to work with me behind the scenes. It's like at what point it's kind of old. Like ain't nobody trying to hear that.
No. But all right, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Finish your. You know you got one more, right?
Oh no, that was my co-red. I guess I can talk about Armani Caesar. She's like the first female of Griselda. She dropped a project called The Liz.
That's interesting.
Again, another short, concise project, but it's super dope because she has that Griselda sound, like the typical Griselda sound, but she got bars. You know what I mean? Like I don't put her in the same class as like a Rhapsody or anything like that because like her talk is like very specific, kind of like a Cash Doll, kind of like a Cardi B, a early Cardi B, mixtape Cardi B, not like a pop, but she's actually like spitting, and she's been in the game apparently for over 10 years. Like she's really been like holding it down. She earned her spot. You know, she looks good. Don't get me wrong. Like she looks amazing, but that's not how she got to where she is now, a part of Griselda. She really does rap and she holds her own. Like she got songs with Conway and Benny the Butcher, and she's hanging in there neck and neck, like bar for bar, hanging in there with them. So it's a dope project. The Liz from Armani Caesar. It's a dope project.
That's what's up. All right, man. Let's get to it. Before we get to it, I don't know why I just thought about this, but thinking about Black China putting sprinkles on her. Is it pandering that Iggy Azalea put chicken on her ass and twerked?
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, that's a little borderline right there, bro.
Yeah, that's a little borderline. Okay, all right.
A little borderline.
I was thinking, I was just wondering.
But that's her whole MO though. Like
twerking.
No, just like pandering to the community. Like she got a whole different voice. Like she don't even sound like that, but she rap in a separate voice.
Yeah, well, fair enough. All right. So the cool alert meter is going off. All right, man. Let's get to your boy, man. Let's go ahead and get to your boy. Go ahead. Nope, that's all you, boss. I'm gonna let you.
And the myth, the legend himself.
Yep.
So, as many of you know, Kanye was off his meds this past week. But he went on a very, very, very extensive Twitter rant over this past week, talking about a lot of different things. Anything from not owning your masters to talking about launching his Christian academy to talking about the music business in general. He actually put one of his Grammys into the toilet, pissed on it. He was actually calling out I believe it's the chief of the editorial section of Forbes. He actually called him out and called him a white supremacist and called him a racist and actually leaked his number on Twitter and actually got his actual Twitter shut out. And people were saying like, oh, Kanye is exposing the industry and talking about stuff. So they're trying to silence him. But no, doxing people is actually illegal. And you can't do that. So they cut him out. They shut down his Twitter for 24 hours. But in the midst of it, he was talking about a lot about the music industry. He kind of pulled a Joe Budden, talking about people need their masters. The creatives need to be in control. Labels need to give back their artists, their masters, and just went on this long rant about how we need to do that. All the people he needs to talk to. He said that J. Cole and Drake owe him an apology, but he's willing to talk and they can stand.
There's a lot of Drake in there. I don't know what is it. He's literally obsessed.
Yeah, I get it. I get what his sentiment, because he was trying to say like if Drake was to go independent, like he would be the one to actually change the game, because Drake is the number one star. And Drake, he has the leverage to do what he was talking about. He talked about J. Cole. He talked about Adidas and Puma collaborating. Talked about Jay-Z and how there was speculation about certain things that we talk about a little bit later. But he said Jay-Z was his brother. They need to collaborate. There's always going to be love there. But the most interesting thing that I believe he did was he dropped the contracts, and he literally called on any attorney to look at all of his contracts to see what was wrong, because he felt as though that he should have the masters to his projects, but his contracts only allowed for him to get masters of several projects, but not the early ones. So I believe every album up until I want to say Watch the Throne, Yeezus, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, everything, I think Life of Pablo and everything after that, he'll have access to his masters after, I believe, 7 years, but everything else is going to stay with the label. And he didn't really like that negotiation. So he just kind of putting it out there on Instagram. I think it was total 113 documents or 113 pages of documents of all his contracts. So we're going to discuss it, because there was some interesting things within those documents. But what you think about it, bro?
First I thought I read 20. I read it was 20 years after the projects were released that he can get those masters back. So
that's the earlier projects. The earlier projects it'll be 20. The earliest he can get those is 20 years. But the ones, so A Life of Pablo, Yay, Kids See Ghost, and Gospel or Jesus is King, those will be after 7 years once he recoups from the actual
copy.
Yeah. So if you look at all those albums on your digital streaming platforms, the earlier ones say under Universal Music Group. The Life of Pablo and everyone after that say under Good Music. So the Good Music albums, he'll be able to, once he recoups after 7 years, he'll have access to those.
Okay. All right. There's a lot to this. I'm not gonna get into the antics, man. I'm not really for it. And that's kind of what's kind of steered me away. We talked about this before we wanted to record, and I'm not a big Kanye West fan, and the last thing I want to do is talk about another Kanye rant. But this one did perk up my eyebrow a little bit, because it put me on to some stuff. But where I want to start is Kanye West ain't saying nothing that ain't nobody been saying for 50 years now. Like this I hate when, and it's not just Kanye, it's just a lot of people, a lot of like famous people, like they'll regurgitate what somebody else is saying or have said already or been saying for a long time, and everybody like, oh my God, it's the knowledge, the feed the knowledge is so crazy right now. He's just like exposing everything, and it's just like, Not really, bro. Like, not you're really not doing anything. Like, motherfuckers been saying this for years now, and it's not having any impact. I don't know why it takes Kanye West to say this for anybody to just at least notice that this is happening. But this has been happening, bro. The only thing, though, this is what got me, right. The only thing that got me, his contract wasn't that bad. His contract was not that bad, man. There was a lot of money being thrown at Kanye West for doing whatever the fuck he wanted to. All he had to do was make music, and he was getting paid a lot of money to do so, like a ton of money. There's some examples on here, like this one. He got a $12 million pool to make Yeezus, right? 2/3 of that, $8 million was just an advance for him. Like, yo, you keep that. The rest was like, hey, that's all recording costs, sample clearances, and other costs involved with making the album. So that's just making an album. That's not none of the videos, none of the artwork, none of that stuff. It's just making the album. Here's $12 million. You keep $8 million of it. Use the other 4 for whatever you want, and then keep the rest. That's how they was coming at him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they was coming at him for several different things. Like he has here's another 2.3 million advance. Here's a 1.2 million advance. Here's a several 6 figures advance all in 1 year. There's all this amount of money. He could go anywhere he wanted. He was in Paris making the album just because he wanted to go to Paris to make the album. It cost him $7,100 a day to make sure he could record out there. He stayed a considerable amount of time out there. They ate that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they ate that. You get all this money that I'm talking about. You might say, well, what is that to art? I don't know, but if I pay you that much money to do something, I don't really want to hear your mouth. Like, if I'm eating that, bro, like, we gotta start looking at what they doing too, right? I understand it's the artists, and we sometimes we feel bad for artists, and it seems like everybody getting raped on these deals. Everybody ain't getting raped, bro. Like, everybody don't got bad contracts. I don't look at this contract as that bad. There are a lot of worse contracts going on right now in the industry that we can look at, and that people have been trying to get out those deals for years, right? So we know. Look at Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne had all that. Lil Wayne couldn't get $1 paid to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, so all this money you getting thrown at you just to go ahead and make music, to me, as if I'm a business, right? And I'm giving you all this money, I say, hey, I just want you to make sandwiches. And in the process of you making sandwiches, you do whatever you want. I'll throw all this money at you. I'll give you these advances. When you're done, I'll get when it's 20 years past or 7 years past after we recoup the money, you can actually have those the masters to this sandwiches if there was a master to this sandwich. And then we cool, right? And then we good. You ain't gotta deal with us no more. If I don't know, several times in that contract, you were just a fucking nutcase, I'd be fucking mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'd be the one upset. I don't see any reason why Kanye has a reason to be upset, besides the fact that he's mentally unstable. This is not a bad contract, bro. We can really talk about several different points in here. There are some weird things in there. Like some weird like things he has to meet or things that he has to do. But that's kind of with everything. But Kanye not saying nothing new. I just think what he's saying don't necessarily really apply to him.
Yeah, and as much as I want to defend Kanye, like, I can't. It's just I gotta be real with it. I will reiterate Jay-Z when he said it in his Breakfast Club interview. Kanye is going to be the wild dude. If we're talking about cowboys and Native Americans, Kanye is going to be the cowboy that runs over the hill and just wilds out, no plan, no strategy, gets shot in the back with all the arrows, but then comes back, still survives, and then based on Kanye's sacrifice, we strategize and we go through and conquer. That's what Jay-Z said. That's Kanye's approach. So while, yes, I don't think this fight is relative to Kanye, because I do think he had a very, very good deal and a very, very good contract, I think this is an opportunity to learn from it. And like you said, this has been going on so many times, but it isn't as culturally relevant as to when Kanye does it. So Taylor Swift has been going through the same process like this year. And people have been calling her like spoiled, ungrateful, or like all type of bitches because like she wants her value. And she's been arguing with iTunes. She's been arguing with Spotify, arguing with her label to try to get her masters back, to the point where she was getting an award. I can't remember the award show, but she had to wait until the last minute to get clearance to perform her own songs that weren't on her newest album because the label still owned the masters to her original albums with all her hits, and she didn't get cleared by her label to perform them at an award show for honoring her for her legacy and all her hits. So that's the type of battles that are being fought, but we don't speak about it in our culture because we don't really care about the fights that Taylor Swift goes through. We don't care about, the Paul McCartney's out there fighting for his. We look at Prince, and when he had Slave written on his face, but we see that as so far ago. We look at the TLC situations. We look at the Boys in the Hood situations, but we're not as culturally connected to them today. I think that with this situation, we have an opportunity to learn, and a unique opportunity to learn because now we have the contracts. So again, this may not be for Kanye, but I think as a culture, we can have a good discussion about what's in these contracts. But when you look at these contracts, you start to see a trend of Kanye's behavior and why some of these contracts are structured the way they do it. From the first album, Kanye is given considerable budgets and considerable advances, like upwards
going
of,
over a considerable amount.
Right. So he's getting millions of dollars to get an advance just for, this is for your lifestyle. You take care of your bills, you feed your family, you get comfortable. And then we're going to give you on top of that, this amount of money for recording costs. Kanye has almost or pretty consistently busted those budget limits to the point where he went back to the label and said, I can't finish this project without 1.5 million. I can't finish this project without another couple million here. And then the label obliged, saying like, here, take this money. Or they even, for one project that he made a Cruel Summer movie, right? And with this movie, they gave him, I want to say, above $5 million to get this movie done. And then he still went over budget, and they gave him an additional $1.5 million, but they borrowed it from his upcoming releases and just said, all we want you to do is just finish the movie, deliver the movie. And then once you recruit from this movie, we'll give you that $1.5 million back into the upcoming albums. And you don't have to pay us anything else. This is just, we're loaning you your money, but we're going to put it back. And it's like that type of mentality to just constantly bust your budget for a movie that I didn't even know existed. And apparently that movie could only be watched on 7 theater screens at a time. Like you couldn't just watch it on one movie theater screen. You had to get 7. Like it's ridiculous. But the label went along with it. The label went along with it, and they funded that. They gave him money for that. So to think that he's complaining about his contract to say that he wasn't being treated fairly is kind of, it doesn't make sense because the label bent over backwards to give Kanye what he wanted. Like you said, they sent him to Paris to record an album, and just millions upon millions they kept pouring into that project, and then he still busted the budget. And he had a clause in his project saying that he had to deliver his albums on time. But his albums being delivered on time is he had 12 months to deliver a project after they gave him a written notice that his album was overdue. So let's say if you have a job, if you're at your job and you have a task that's due this Friday, and they tell you Friday, hey, it's overdue, you have now 1 year to deliver that task, and then you'll still be paid and you'll still be compensated for that project. It's just like, what do you have to complain about, bro? Like the label is showing love.
Just on that just blew my mind is there's like $800K worth in bonuses if he turns in his album on time. Like if you turn in this paper that's due and you already late, but I'm gonna push it back for you so you can actually give it to me on time, and then I'm gonna give you $800K
on top of what you already got paid.
Dog, come on, man. I'm not hearing this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sick of having the people telling me who I need to be feeling sorry for. That's why I'm really. I don't want to listen. Let my sympathy go to the people that need it, bro. Let me decide where my sympathy goes to. I don't want to hear you complaining, bitch, and moan about getting $12 million for a budget and then you busting it and nothing happening. Like I don't want to hear it, bro. I don't want to hear nothing about no masters. I want it. You signed that contract, bro. Go have that. That's late. You made the bed. Go lay in it, bro. I don't care. I really don't. I don't care what you got to say about it. Like it is some now. You do make a point. People need to be learning, right? Like it's to me. I think people should be striving for a contract like this outside of the Masters. It might have been able to be written a little bit differently, but when you look at the Masters, and I know that's like the money maker, right? All of that money that they had to eat, Universal, they had to eat all those losses for him to give them 7 or 8 albums, right? They need that Masters to recoup that. Like that's where they really make their money back. That's not to me. That's not a hard sell to me. Like that's if you don't like that, then go independent. Those are your options, really. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you sign one of these labels, they're gonna want your masters for a certain amount of time because they need to recoup the money. If you don't want to give them a dime of that money coming off from your masters, then keep your masters, build it up yourself, and do it the Nip way. Like all these examples are out there. Which ones are you going to follow? That's your choice. At this point, you have the knowledge necessary to make an educated decision. Just do that. Do what's best for you at the end of the day. Every situation is different. But for all the artists, all the podcasts, all that, anybody like that out there, do what's best for you when these situations come about. You have the knowledge that you need to make these decisions. And if you feel like you don't, then get informed. There's several different examples now. We don't need to keep going over this over and over again. Some contracts are bad, some are good. I think this is a good one. And that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah, less about Kanye. I think is informative to see that people always look at music and think of like royalties and what's the splits for royalties. And Kanye had an agreement where he got I think it was like a split profit, whereas though all of the licensing, all of the money that was being made, all of the music sales, he got a cut of everything. So I think that with the wording in that contract, that's probably a new ask that up and coming artists can ask for to kind of put themselves in a position of asking for more than just a royalty split. Also with the label, what they were doing is once they got the money back, they were taking their cut, then taking out the expenses and then giving Kanye a cut. So looking at the contract and seeing how all of that was worded, I think that new artists or new people, when they're looking at the contracts, seeing how that breakdown works, that put the burden of paying those expenses back on Kanye, whereas though the label, they took their cut first and then they kind of divided that pie with Kanye a little bit later. So looking at that structure when you are negotiating, making sure you have that off the table or that doesn't get snuck in there, I think is going to be critical. I think that they offered Kanye after 20 years. That's the earliest that he can look at getting the masters for his earliest work, the ones that are people consider the best projects, everything up from College Dropout, Graduation, Late Registration, all of those projects. The copyright law states that you don't have a claim to that up until 35 years after that was actually signed. So the fact that they're actually giving him access to that or saying at an opportunity or at 20 years, we can renegotiate, that's in itself a blessing right there. So I think all of these, again, it's not just about Kanye, it's about what we're learning from the situation. All of these things, as we see this plays out, we can kind of learn from that, or you can kind of learn from that as an up and coming artist or somebody that might be in this position to see, like Kevo said, do you want to take the independent route, or what are you willing to give up, or what are you expecting when you give up that leverage and that control to a label? Because at the same time, Kanye owns a label. And all of his artists, the Tiana Taylors, the Big Seans, the Pusha T's, they have these same contracts under Kanye. So not only is Kanye getting this from the actual label, but everybody under him is getting that 2 times because they're giving that up to Kanye first, and then they got to give it up to the branch that owns Good Music. So again, looking at this, thinking about this as from a strategic level, from an up and coming artist level, read these contracts, understand what's going on, understand what he's asking for, what he's fighting for, and pay attention to this litigation to see what you can ask for, what you can leverage as an artist, and kind of what it takes to get this to this position. Because Kanye is an anomaly. It's a reason why this contract was so good. He put himself in a position and he earned his leverage to the label to say, yo, I'm going to get this much money on the back end. I'm going to get these masters to my last few projects because I've given you the masters to these other ones. So it is a learning experience, less about Kanye, but more about the knowledge that we could take from this scenario. And I think this is different because we actually get to see the contract.
Yeah, no, it was interesting. It was when I was doing my research on it, I was definitely tuned in and interested in what was in there. So it is what it is, man. Shit, I'll sign for this contract right now though.
Shit,
I'll take this contract right now.
Yeah, $8 million advance.
Dog, I'm copping this right now, bro.
I'll be out here building dunes for the homeless too, bro.
Yeah.
I'll be out here running for president too, bro.
Right? Oh God, bro. we was just talking about this last week about how everybody's so. You actually made a good point on Instagram in our chat about this. It's just like I don't know why people are so mad about like people being rich. Like I don't really understand why like. Everybody like, well, the businesses make this much. It's like, yeah, and you said this last week. They got to eat these costs, bro. They the ones that got to give you the $8 million advance.
Yeah,
it is what it is, bro. If you don't like it, then build your own. That like, it's so many ways to do it. I hate that. I seen a meme this week that said like, I don't know who's writing all these rules, but you don't need to follow none of them. Like, that's exactly how I feel. Like it's all these rules that people imaginarily make up in life. Like one of the rules that just like recently been broken is just like mental health, and men is weak to be mental health, and that's obviously coming out like in 2020 has been big about like just like who the fuck said that anyway? You know what I'm saying? Like It's just like all these fucking raggedy ass rules that people be thinking they make it, and then just can push on somebody else. You don't have to do it their way. Do it your way, bro. Do it your way.
Don't get me started. That's that's a whole conversation right there, bro. That's a whole conversation. But I concur. I agree.
Nip back there nodding too, man. Shut up, man. Shut up. Man.
Relax, my D. Relax, my G.
Shout out, man.
Rest in peace, man. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Let's get to this positivity shout out. We got actually another segment that we're gonna do right after this with my sister, so I'm excited to do that here shortly, and then we'll release that as well. But let's get to these positivity shouts. We'll have it into this episode. Mine is going out to Snapchat and Jaden Smith. He has a new original series, which is super like surprising me because I know that Snapchat had like TV shows. But what's kind of cool about this one is it's actually led by Will and Jada. So they actually are kind of like producing. They're taking the reins on this, and he's gonna be the star of the show. But it's just like that's kind of really cool to see, like your mom and dad, like producing the show for you is kind of cool as fuck. But basically, this show is basically gonna be about he's gonna have several different other stars come on, and they're gonna talk about social justice and ways that they can actually impact that. Ways they can make a change, ways they can actually make a difference, like real stuff. But they're also going to have political leaders on there and try to have conversations and see what they can do to actually make a change, as well as it says it had like undertones of like trying to get people to vote as well. And it's going to launch right before like National Voting Day. So it's really it's well timed. It's a good platform to do it on because Snapchat is a good, if you want to get some young people. Can't do TikTok now. We already seen how that goes. So Snapchat is a good one to do this on. And then Jaden Smith to me is a really good star. I don't really know what I like about Jaden Smith, but I like him. You know what I mean? Like I like it's, and I think he just has that like effect for me. Like he's just a cool dude. I like listening to a lot of his music. I just like Jaden Smith as a star for this. He's a good young dude. He always kind of thinks out of the ordinary. And then he got those funny videos that everybody think about where he's just like looking out to the sky and then say some shit. So shit like that. I think it's gonna be really funny. A really cool show. It's gonna be able to break down some. I think how if it's gonna go how I think it's gonna go, I think they'll be able to break down and talk about some actual like substance, right? Some actual like there's always people saying they want to do this and want to do that, but talk about some actual substance about like, yo, how can we do this and let's press forward with it. It's only 8 episodes, so it's really short, so it'll be easy to see the follow-up behind this after all these people come on, talk about it, see if they actually do it, and then we'll see the change after that. So shout out Jaden Smith, shout out Snapchat, shit, shout out Will and Jada too, man.
Slow, bro. That's a dynasty right there, bro.
Yeah, boy, shit. They be trying to clown, bro. They could adopt me any day.
Yeah. Last time they brought somebody into their family, they started clapping their cheeks.
No.
They not letting nobody do it to that family.
I can't even look at Jada, bro. He get the strap on out on me, dog.
So I wanted to highlight Chrissy Teigen because she kind of did the same thing, just giving back at a local level. And she's homeschooling this year. As a lot of people are, doing it through Zoom, and a lot of parents are having to step up and kind of take that mantle. And she would just basically posted up her book wall for her child on just saying like, this is what she has to do to homeschool her kid. And then she basically said she didn't realize like how much work went into that. So she basically asked for teachers if they had an Amazon like wish list to kind of send it to her so that she can help and buy and fill out all these Amazon wish lists for the teachers, because as a lot of people know, teachers are grossly underpaid, and a lot of the supplies that they do need for their classrooms, for their students, they have to pay out of pocket. So in an already economically tough time, like she just reached in her pockets and was like, yo, who needs help? Like, send me a wish list and I'll help out. So she was actually able to complete 50 orders. Like, she helped 50 different teachers out complete their Amazon wish list and just giving them school supplies, helping them out so that they can have more supplies, more materials for the school year this year, which is going to be a tough one because you got to figure out, are you going to do it virtually? Are you going to do like a hybrid? You in some days, do it on Zoom some other days. And it's going to take a lot of creativity. And the last thing you need to worry about is buying different materials on top of not having that much money. So from her looking out like that for people on the front lines, people that we really do need to show more appreciation for, I think that was dope. So shout out to Chrissy Teigen for helping out those 50 teachers.
That's love. No, that's love. Yeah. She having a boy now too, ain't she?
Boy, she popping out kids like goddamn like a factory, what?
Bro. Yeah, that's love. Yeah. I really like them. Like I just like John Legend era. I don't know why. Just
you know who else like John Legend?
Who, dude?
Kanye West, because he's still getting paid from his albums.
Fuck Kanye, bro. Yeah, fuck Kanye, dog. No, that's crazy because that's not even like I thought about it briefly, but that's not even a take that I thought about. It's just like you saying all this shit about this album, but you brought all these people to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like you brought all these people to them and you got the audacity to be out here talking crazy about your contract. But you brought everybody over there, all your homies.
Peep this though. Kanye was like, my goal is to get everybody their masters. We're going to work out on y'all contracts. We're going to get y'all right. The first person to comment was Big Sean. He said, can we start with mine first?
Oh, man. Nah, me first, bro. Me first.
Put the praying hands like, bro, start with mine first, huh?
Look at that, bro. Look at what they got. Look at how he got him, bro. Like that's not a look, bro. That's not a look. This is the type of shit that Drake when he ever send like shots is just like, yo, I'm really a big dog in here. Like you can't talk to me like I'm like Pusha T or like I'm Big Shot or I'm really a big dog in here. Like man. I see you here, but I actually see you lower because your contract bad. Because you a fucking nut. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I bet Drake contract is crazy.
Oh yeah.
If Kanye getting these type of advantages, I can only imagine.
Yeah, we ain't gonna see no Drake contracts though.
No, because he's smart.
Yeah,
he's smart. You're smart. You're loyal. Nah, but yeah, let's wrap it up, man. Let's wrap it up, man. We'll we got another segment coming soon, so we'll holler at y'all later, man. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you.
Who am I? The girls them sugar.